tempo is quick. They are heading for a quick time. But the fireworks yet to come, because I just have a feeling that Namibia is holding back a little bit. I think he's got more in the tank. And Namibia in third is paying close attention to the Australian. I agree with you, Jim. I don't think we've seen Evan Dunphy, the Olympic and world bronze medalist over the 50k. I don't think we've seen the Canadian taking his turn. Gafimba just veers off to the right-hand side. Now, is he just going for water? Yes, he is. The fourth placer from the Worlds now slips back on the inside next to Kumar, but they are playing chase to Tingay, the Australian. Yeah, Tingay has pushed on really hard and broken away literally over the last few laps. That's a big gap he's got there, Tingay. Declan Tingay for Australia. Everywhere you look sometimes, there's Australian bests performing superbly. This fella, when he was 17 in the 17th in the Olympic 20k last year, 17th as well, coincidentally, in Eugene at the World Championships. And he's self-coached. Tom Bosworth, well, he's still going strong. He's had a lot of injury problems, as Tom Bosworth, illness problems I should say. Selected to carry the Olympic torch through Leeds, the suburb of Leeds. He actually is based at the UK Race Walking Centre up in Leeds, is Bosworth. He's had a lot of interruptions to the continuity necessary. And another warning card being held out to Wilkinson there at the bottom of the picture, you might have seen that. Tingay now with a 5.5 second lead over this trio. And this is a brave early push from the Australian. There's plenty of walking to come yet. He's been given a warning card there by the judges. The judges, by the way, can choose when to give a red card. They don't have to give warning cards. I think they've been really breaking the rules by a significant margin and actually taking a mickey, so to speak, then they will issue a red card. 7k at 3:48. That is because Tingay has kicked in hard. The splits generally have been around the 350 to 350 zone, and a 3:48 from Tingay. That is why he's opened up. 5 seconds quicker than the previous couple of kilometres. It's been a brave move. He's up here against the very experienced racing brain of Evan Dunphy, the fastest in the field when you look at their personal best, or just about the fastest in the field. Callum Wilkinson actually with 39.05 is a superb walker. Tingay as well is down there in the low 39s, his personal best. 3 seconds now the lead's been cut down. Remember, it was 5.5 a couple of laps back. And whilst they're beginning to close on Tingay, Tim and Kumar's just tagging along for the ride behind Evan Dunphy. Gafimba's definitely been dropped. He's going backwards quickly with Callum Wilkinson as we watch Gafimba coming round now with 6 laps to go. Tough work there by Wilkinson, who on paper would have thought he could have got in the shake-up for the medals, the former World Junior Champion. Dunphy is opening up a little gap on Kumar, and little by little, Tim, they are definitely reeling the Australian in. I think Tingay, top left of pit, here he comes, went very early. It's been a bold push, but Dunphy is a wily old racer. Tingay veering out there to get that drink. I don't know why they're standing out in lane 5. Crikey. Why did the athletes come out that far? Just move in a couple of lanes. They're all walking in lane 1 or lane 1.5. I don't know why. Tingay is being wheeled. Dunphy, look at the power and the pace of Evan Dunphy now, the Canadian. Booming along. 4th in Rio over 50k. We know he's got enormous strength, Dunphy. This, for these fellas, well, it's a sprint. And they walk 50k, they're out there for hours. He's the bronze medalist from Tokyo with Dunphy. He seems to have covered pretty well from the 35k at the World Championships in Eugene a couple of weeks back, where he finished in 6th place. I wonder if Tingay is aware that he's been closed down. Kyle Swan on 2 red. Another of the Aussies in real trouble here. Swan, who was good in the younger age groups, started the crowd over that side roaring on the triple jumpers as well. And the The gap back to Kumar there. Well, what is it? About 4 seconds, something like that, 4 or 5 seconds to the Indian in bronze medal position. Tingay, Dunphy, Kumar. Wilkinson is in 4th. Gafilma a little further way back in 5th. Tom Bosworth is in 6th. Kyle Swan 7th. And Riddian Cowley in 8th place at the moment. Remember, Quentin Roux from New Zealand has been disqualified, unfortunately. Tingay doesn't want to relinquish the lead, and I don't think Dunphy wants to pass him just yet, Rob. I think the Canadian biding his time. 27 degrees. That keeps clicking up. About every half hour it's going up another degree. It's a warm Birmingham day. Beautiful for the crowd. Tough for these fellas with 3 laps to go. And they will most certainly be feeling it as we look at Kumar in 3rd place. Another little warning goes to Evan Dunphy, and this is where they really need to maintain the technique. Everybody gets a bit ragged towards the end of a 10k road race, but you don't get disqualified for technique if you're rocking and rolling a little bit on the 10k on the roads. But how will they do this over the last 2 laps? Who's got the acceleration? Dunphy is the distance specialist, coming over for a drink, as Tim was saying. 27 degrees, this is brutal. I think Kumar's going for some refreshments as well, and maybe the Australian can use that to pull away, but he doesn't. They're shoulder to shoulder. Dunphy possibly taking the lead, but these 3 look like the medalists, but this is turning out to be a wonderful duel in the burning Birmingham sunshine. Tingay leading, and another warning card being held out there, I think, to Evan Dunphy. And sometimes when 2 athletes are locked together like this, it's really hard to tell who the warning card is for. But I think it was for Dunphy. 9k, by the way, 34.52, a 3.54 that 9th kilometre. The 8th kilometre was a 3.48. That was an aggressive, tough one. Tingay trying to keep Dunphy at bay. But with 2 laps to go, Tingay of Australia, Declan Tingay, leads from Evan Dunphy, the uber-experienced Canadian, medalist in the Olympic 50k last year, medalist at the World Championship. Well, what an intriguing last lap in prospect. Oceania against North America, against Asia, and Kumar is not that far behind. It's a big, big gap, but who has got the burst of speed with 400 metres to go? Fascinating climax in prospect. 37.11 there at the bell, and Tingay digs deep again. He's increased the tempo. There's no doubt about it. The little Australian got his head down there at the bell, as if to say to Dunphy, I can keep you at bay. You will not pass. But there he goes. Dunphy with the longer legs, the longer stride, powers past in the space of 10 metres, takes 2 or 3 out of Tingay, and he's gone. Head down, powering away. Look at the way he's working with the arms to keep the legs coming through. Tingay to the right of picture has been redlining clearly because he seems to have resigned himself to settling for the silver. I don't think Kumar was going to get to it back in the background there in 3rd place. But Evan Dunphy of Canada, well, this is supreme walking from him. Deep in concentration, maintaining that lovely rhythmic technique. The legs rolling through and a superb tempo. The stride length has increased dramatically. He is flipping down onto the track. Each leg coming through, and he celebrates. He's opened up 30 metres in the space of 300. There's only 35 and 40 metres come the line. He will be commonwealth champion. The 10,000 metre champion for Canada in the world is Evan Dunphy. The winning time 38.36. That is mighty fast. That puts him 3rd on the world list for this year. Silver for Declan Tingay, and a brilliant bronze there for Sandeep Kumar Sangwan of India. The 35-year-old takes 3rd place. Big gap behind him. Callum Wilkinson has continued to battle on, and he is going to finish in 4th. Acknowledging the applause from this big crowd. Great result there for Callum Wilkinson. He comes home in what? Just outside 39 minutes. That's for Callum Wilkinson, actually very close to his lifetime best. We'll see what that actually ends up being for Callum Wilkinson. Well, Dunphy's time 38.36, Wilkinson 39.06. He's 1 second outside, less than 1 second outside his lifetime best. Gold for Canada, silver for Australia, bronze for India. A growing force in track and field athletics. Watch out for them. It's a sleeping giant through the Sandy Kumar. Thimba in 5th place, maybe feeling the effect of that hard walk in Eugene a couple of weeks